We are recording.
We're recording.
Hit record, Joe.
Hit record, Joe. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you gotta hit record. Do we have your attention? This is How Do We Human, the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Spinning.
I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
Today we're going to be talking about attention, paying attention, not paying attention, commanding attention.
Oh.
But the first thing that I need to command is an answer to this question to my co-host, Evan.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing okay. I got caught up there because I wanted to make a joke that would be a long stretch. And it was, and I didn't think of it in time.
Okay.
But it's like if I were counting down 5 people, the last one is the 10 shin. If I were counting their shins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A 10th shin.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It might be further than a stretch.
Ooh. A leap? A leap and a jump?
Yeah.
A lunge. That's a deep stretch.
That's a deep stretch, Evan.
I've got a little tale that is similar to something you did recently.
Okay.
I went to the grocery store.
Hey.
Hey! So I'm at the grocery store. I'm buying some stuff. Get some food. And as I've said before, hey, I'm a bath bomb myself. And I love some bubble baths, you know.
Yeah.
I like to calm down and chill out, lay in a bath full of bubbles. But I was out of bubbles. So what do? I go to the store. I gotta get some bubble bath.
Yeah.
Bubble bath solution. Whatever you want to call it. This was a part of the issue. We'll get there in a second. So I got my cart full. And by cart, I mean basket. I was just, this is slightly off topic. I was just talking, I don't even remember. I was probably talking to my girlfriend about this. And she agreed. Like, yeah, it was her. I get very nervous if I'm grocery shopping with someone else and they grab a cart. That stresses me out. That's too much to commit to. It's like, how much stuff are we buying? My money brain gets stressed out. I'm baskets only. Anyways.
Real basket case.
Yeah, you could call me a basket case. Do you have the time? Gonna get all our episodes deleted. So I get to the self-checkout. At this point, I only use non-self-checkouts to get quarters for laundry or to buy booze. Because you're not allowed to do that in California through a self-checkout. And that's stupid. Anyways, I scan everything, including the bubble bath. I pay for it. It's all paid for. Now, I have retired from... I try to always bring my own reusable bag. But I have retired from following their rules. Where you're supposed to say, I brought a bag... put it on the scale, weigh the bag, press OK, and then hope nothing in the bag shifts. Like, because every fucking time I do it, I'll put an item in, and then it's like, your bag? What is this extra thing you put in? And I hate it, because that just brings people to me, and I don't like people.
Hey, it's time for you to go to Ralph's, because they don't have that.
Ralph's. Yeah. I don't have a Ralph's anywhere near me, so no. But so I just put the items on the scale, whatever the spot where the bagging would happen, and then once it's all done, I bag them. It takes a little extra time, but I don't have to deal with people.
The spot where the bagging would happen is my favorite song from Hamilton.
Yeah, too many syllables.
Too many.
Yeah,
the lyrically, we can only use the title as a
that
joke.
can only
We
be
cannot
spoken.
do the lyrics. Yeah. I try to limit myself to only spoken word jokes.
So I've already full on paid for all these things. I'm putting them in my bag, and when it comes time to bag that bath soap, I drop it.
Ooh.
And I didn't buy the nice stuff. I bought the store brand stuff, and that means somehow just a perfect little circle of plastic, not the whole lid, just a little plastic on top, shoots off, and bubble bath goes everywhere. So now the floor is covered in bubble bath.
Okay.
I am literally in my mind going through what happened with you and your tomatoes.
Yeah.
And realizing like I'm in new territory. Because at first I was like, what was the advice I gave Chris? Listen to yourself. Just walk away. But then I'm like, but I already bought it. And so I picked it up and just put it in my bag and was like, whatever, I can still use what's left. And I start turning and then realize like someone's gonna die on this. Like I've now made the floors incredibly like slippery. Someone's gonna break their neck, and I can't let that happen. So I'm like, I give up. I gotta call someone over here, and I do. And the guy's like, "What do you want, fucker?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. In that moment, I probably from embarrassment, I didn't remember the phrase bubble bath. I didn't want to say bubble bath, but I couldn't remember it. So I said, I dropped some soap and we should clean it up. And he's like, oh, okay, sure, yeah. Here. And he's like looking around. He's got some paper towels and he's like, is it in your bag? And I was like, yeah. He's like, why? It's getting all over everything in there. Like, take it out of the bag. And as much as I'm the like anxious person, this is what this whole fucking podcast is. We talk about it all the time. I think this was the first time I've ever in this sort of situation just said this out loud. I said, yeah, started pulling it out and said, I don't know what I'm doing. And just gave it back to him. And he's like, just go get another one. Go over there. I'm like, you sure? Like, yeah, go get another one. I came back like, can I help? He was like, no. I'm like, okay, bye. It was very embarrassing to get caught having put it back in my bag when clearly that's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, to have put it into the bag with all your other stuff is an interesting choice. Like
some chicken, broccoli.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made sense for the half second it took to get it into my bag. And then then it didn't make any sense. But I couldn't turn back. That was my excitement semi-recently. I hope other people can learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris.
Yes.
Hey, what do you got going on? Or how you doing? Why can't I get these straight?
I don't know. You would think that almost 200 episodes in, we'd
Welcome
have it
to
down.
How We Human. This is the podcast.
A couple episodes ago, I read somewhat of a little transcript from messages that were exchanged in my mobile game King's Choice. And I'm here to read another transcript, although this one is from my work department's WhatsApp group.
Hey.
And I'm just gonna read this and then I'll ask you a question as to how you would interpret one of these messages. Okay?
All right.
So, a little bit of backstory. We share the building with other companies as well. And in our break room, sometimes things have gone missing or been later found in the trash. And who knows why that's happening. I'll say that none of my stuff has ever... This has never happened to any of my stuff because I put my stuff away after I use it. Anyway.
And to double check, this is personal stuff or...
Yeah, it's like dishes, like Tupperware, plates, mugs.
Like, I guess by personal stuff, I mean things your coworkers bring in from home.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, things that they've brought from home. All right, so somebody messages everybody at 10:46 p.m. Okay, this person clocked out at 10:30.
Okay.
And I was still at work because I had to stay late for a little bit of overtime, so I was still in the building when received this message. Coworker number 1 gets in here and says, "Hey, IDK, how to say this, but has anyone's blue Snoopy mug gone missing in the break room? Because if it has, I think I might have seen/found it in our neighboring break room offices. Take a look." And then sent a photo of one of the other company's break rooms. And sure enough, in the there's a picture of a microwave, some Folgers, and then there's a blue Snoopy mug that at the very least looks similar to one that I've seen other people use. Okay, coworker number 2 responds. First, I'll say that I was ready to respond. I had a response ready about this blue Snoopy mug, but I was like, do I really want to? I don't like to message in this WhatsApp because everybody gets it.
Yeah.
And not everybody needs to get notifications all day long.
Totally.
Not everybody else seems to feel that way. Everybody, some people think that their messages are the most important thing for all of us to pay attention to. But I try my best to not do that. But another coworker comes in and says, "Yikes, detective," coworker number 1's name, "to the rescue." Coworker number 1 responds again, "LOL. Just seen it right now as I was walking by in the hallway." And at this point, I'm like, hey, it's time. I've decided it's worth putting my little message in here about this blue Snoopy mug. So I say, "Sounds like you were being a little ... Snoopy." And then I put the CSI gif of the detective putting on his sunglasses.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you interpret that, Evan, as a joke or as me accusing you of sticking your nose where it doesn't belong?
I very clearly take that as a joke. I have a feeling that's not how it
went. Yeah, the response that I got was, "I wouldn't call it that if the door is wide open and my vision is directed towards something that it recognizes. I would call it being observant of my surroundings." No, you don't get to respond that way to my funny joke.
I'm being silly.
Yeah, I'm being silly. And then the next day, another coworker that I was there with until 11:15, I was like, "Hey, I don't think this person got my pun." Because they had responded in the you react to the message with a little haha or whatever. And so I told that person, I was like, "I don't think that coworker number 1 got this pun." And then the next day, that coworker was like, "Oh, I appreciated your pun yesterday." I was like, "I don't think you did. I think somebody talked to you and said, you know that this is a joke, right?"
Ooh.
But yeah, that'll teach me to have some fun in the group chat.
I just went through that on a Slack earlier. now yesterday, not that anyone gives a shit, but where I was like, is this time to step in and make a funny joke? And I thought through it, and I started typing it, but then I thought through it again. I'm like, no, it's not worth it. It's so hard to, I mean, we've talked about that on the texting episode. It's so hard to get intent across sometimes. And I had that thought, like, you might have had to send, like, the CSI gif might have confused. You might have had to send a Snoopy gif, which would have been less funny.
Would have been less funny,
but they would have got it.
I debated between the CSI gif and a gif of Fozzie Bear,
Waka waka.
at the microphone, like waka waka.
That would do it.
But CSI felt the truest to my comedic intent, but not every recipient no joke can satisfy 100% of people who listen to it.
No, it can't, but it can get you unwanted attention.
Attention.
Isn't that the worst kind of attention? As I know you and me, having done comedy together, we're two people that like if I'm in a group, not necessarily doing like improv, like I'm just with a group of friends. I want to make a joke. I want to get the fuck out. But the second I make a joke and someone doesn't 100%. Understand it, and now everyone is hyper focused on what you said, one of my least favorite forms of attention. And I need attention. I thrive on this stuff. I don't like being overanalyzed.
Yeah, I like to I think that you and I are very similar in that we like to just come in and like snipe a quick joke and then, disappear back into our camouflage.
Absolutely.
But, no sniper ever wants to be spotted and called out. So I think that that's a good way to describe our attention-seeking preferences.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to change, because that was natural. We ended up in there, and I think I do want to talk about wanting attention more. But first, we got to address our attention spans. Because when I mentioned this episode, I mentioned attention spans, and you gave me the impression that you had a very good attention span when you were a child via a GIF. Is this the truth? Or was another joke misread?
No.
I think Chris is good at GIFs.
Well, I think that...
It's a joke. You're very good at GIFs.
I think that because what you had sent me was like, here, because I initially was like, I don't know what the fuck to talk about in this episode. And so you elaborated more on what you thought would be good, topics. Including, getting called on in a classroom when you weren't paying attention. And then you said, unless you were a very attentive child. And so instinctually my mind is like, well, we must then prove that I'm an attentive child. And so I typed attentive into the GIF generator and picked the first one, which was SpongeBob leaning forward at his desk. But I do actually think that it was true. I do think that it was definitely better than it is now. My attention span now is not
that's
good.
Everybody. Show me the person with a good attention span.
When I was younger, I think my attention span was definitely better, and it was not to brag, but it was probably better than most of the other people around me.
Wow. That's impressive.
But now it's, just been obliterated with shit. So what does it matter?
That's a good way to put it. No, we must pat ourselves on the back for when we were better. I wonder. I wonder. I mean, that's anything with kids is nature versus nurture, but it does make me wonder, like an attention span like that. Is it as simple as like you watch too much TV? Because granted, now, like we were hinting at, we now see like, yeah, we watch a shit ton of TV and stare at our phones all fucking day, and my attention is stupid. I could be reading like a news article on my phone that's like, oh, the Queen died, or the Ukraine war, and this, and like very serious stuff. And then you just get a little notification that's like, I don't know, the Silly Stupids podcast is out. And I'm like, oh, the Silly Stupids. And then I'll go there and legitimately won't even remember what I was reading. I'm like, why do I read anything at all? And I read a lot. But why do I read anything at all? It all falls out of my brain. I don't know. I don't know how much attention I'm actually paying to anything in my life ever.
Yeah, I don't want to, get on my old man bubble bath box, soapbox, and and say that it's social media's fault. But like,
but isn't it though? But then there's also, like, you've said recently, hey, we don't know, maybe it's time for an update. You said recently you got rid of all the social media apps on your phone. You've been trying to pay less attention to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I still, like I said then, I still look at Instagram and I pop in and out of Reddit here and there. But otherwise, yeah, I don't look at Twitter or Facebook at all anymore. And I'm like, has it actually helped? I don't know that it has. I don't know if it can be fixed. Because is there just a point where it's like, nah, we're too old. It's all gonna keep getting worse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there is a way for us to make our attention spans better, but I think we can at least slow the decline, which I think I feel like it's been better for me to not use the social media as much. It's still, they're all still off my phone. And lately it's like I'm really considering getting rid of them completely off my computer too.
Nice.
Because now every time I go on Twitter, it's like, hey, everybody watched that new episode last night at midnight, and now your whole feed is spoilers. Fuck you. And it's super frustrating to even now just like go through a cursory look at Twitter and have to scroll past all my She-Hulk spoilers, all my Bachelor in Paradise spoilers. And I'm not following any of these people.
No.
It's just what they want me to see.
It's
messed up.
In a feed sense. This is, I didn't even think to mention this when we were talking memes. This is television spoilers and movie spoilers is the biggest place. Like, memes really fucked me up, because I've always been good at, if I'm scrolling down, I see, like, at the time it was happening, even, I mean, hey, the new series is out now and it's really fucking good. But while Game of Thrones OG was happening in the first place, and like Breaking Bad, late season Breaking Bad, these shows where it's like everyone's fucking watching this shit and everyone's going to be spoiling stuff, I got very good at, like, scroll down Facebook, see the word game, just be like, nope, keep scrolling. But now, people just put their spoilers in these big colorful blocks or with big old shiny pictures and a joke. And you gotta look at that. And
or even
ruins everything.
especially with all of the stuff that goes straight to streaming. There's hey, here's just a full on clip. Here's the flashiest scene in the whole
Stuff that goes
episode.
full to streaming, people can pull full on clips from it, and people can just like watch the entire thing in a day. For shows where that's possible, where it's like, no, yeah, this is like, I don't know, let's say 18 hours of content. And someone just does that, and then they're significantly ahead. And I'm like, I'm generally one to watch like an episode a night. I'm a slowpoke. And it's taken away. This is fully unrelated to what we're talking about because we have bad attention spans. It's really, for me, taken away the joy of a lot of Community when it comes to television shows, particularly the show Community. But no, like
6 seasons in a movie.
Like, new episode of Breaking Bad comes out. It's like, hey, co-workers, let's all fucking talk about this shit. It's just for the longest time now. For the longest time. It's been like, how many of you watched? I watched 8. Oh, I'm on episode 2. Okay, let's not talk about it then. I'm going to go talk with my other friends who have watched all of them.
Yeah.
And then I feel like a dope.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was reviewing stuff, I reviewed TV shows a couple times. Mostly Stranger Things and BoJack Horseman.
Nice.
And so when those seasons would drop, they drop all at once. And so, I was one of those people who did binge it all in a day.
Damn.
But you know what I didn't do was then post everything that happens on social media.
What a kind thought.
But to start to loosely tie it back to attention, I think that part of the reason that I'm willing to put the blame onto social media as opposed to television or video games or movies or whatever other sorts of media is because the way that social media is skewing is to put together the shortest things that you can. YouTube is pushing YouTube shorts. Vine was specifically designed to cram as many short form videos into your eyes as they could. TikTok, I don't know what TikTok's time limit is, but I would assume it's similarly very short.
It's interesting you brought it up, and it made me think about that because obviously Vine's been gone for a while now, and Vine was 15 seconds, and Instagram Reels or stories were 15 seconds forever, still technically are, and TikTok originally was 30 seconds, I think, maybe also 15, who knows. I wasn't on it at the time musically, but that was the name of the app, not I wasn't on there musically, you know what I mean? Right. But now all of them, like Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, it's a minute or more, which is longer than it used to be. But why? I'm just interested in that in terms of an attention span. Hey, I'm interested in what changed where we realized, like, hey, these 15-second things, little jokes, like video tweets, basically, which tweets have also gotten longer. Like, what changed? I think, is it just like advertising? Is it something gross like that? The answer's probably.
It's probably something gross.
That everything's a minute now. TikTok can be 3 minutes. What's that about?
Okay.
I don't have attention span.
What is that about?
I think we've talked about that in the YouTube episode. Like, that's the worst length of things. It's like, I don't know, 3 to 10 minutes. Give me something that's a minute or give me something that's an hour. I'm in. Maybe not an hour, but like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's some of my favorite YouTube content. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know what that is. I know that it's very frustrating when like Facebook videos that are 3 minutes long should really only be 15 seconds
Yep.
long, but the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds are in there anyway
Yeah.
for something gross like advertising.
Oh, yeah. You're
Um,
not going to believe this information I've discovered. And you know who else isn't going to believe it? Ripley. Ripley's, believe it or not, sponsor of this episode. Hashtag not sponsored.
To go back to what you had sort of brought up to me, what was your attention span like as a child?
That's actually a good question, because when I brought that up, I was mostly thinking
Because you're the one who asked it
because
to
I was
me.
the one that asked it. That's an interesting question. No, I'm thinking of it broadly, because when I mentioned it to you, I was pretty exclusively thinking in school, which I was definitely one to get bored at school, and my attention span was not great. And definitely got caught a few times, especially I think on podcasts we were talking about those where you have to read and everyone takes a paragraph. And I just had this fucking teacher that wouldn't play by the rules. She'd play her own little game where it's like we're going around in a circle, and then she'd see someone like me not paying attention and go, Evan, why don't you take the next paragraph? And I'd have to be like, I don't know what the next paragraph is. Then you find you're on the wrong page. You're like, God damn it. But otherwise, I don't know. I'd be curious to ask my parents what they think about that if I was an attentive child. Because I was not attentive to whether or not I was attentive. Few kids are. Those that are, they might grow up to be little weirdos.
Yeah, now that you mention that, like, I think that maybe I was just really, I don't know that I was necessarily like
focused attention,
attentive in school. Yeah, maybe I wasn't focused, but I was good enough at faking it.
Yeah.
Because I really wasn't ever caught not paying attention. But like sometimes I'd be just straight up doodling and on my like papers, but
so much
because
doodling.
my grades were good enough, maybe it was no teacher was ever thinking to like make sure I was paying attention.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I ended up. I think when I was young enough, I didn't have as long a record of being a good student, so they were looking to get me, and they got me several times.
The closest not paying attention that I was is that like I was still sort of paying attention, but I wasn't attentive as to whether or not my like filter was still in check, And so like sometimes rhetorical questions would be asked and I would just blurt out the answer.
Interesting.
There was one time in I remember that was in sociology class, like the teacher asked a question and like the answer is very clearly like in bold face right under where he just asked the question is up there on the slide, and then like right underneath is the answer, and he's reading the slide, he reads the question, and then I just blurt out the answer. And people laugh, but there was enough, I also had enough of a reputation as to like not being a disruptive class clown, but like being a little silly goose, that like it was mostly just shrugged off as like he's being a little silly goose, and not he was not paying attention to the fact that was a rhetorical question.
That's a nice little middle ground. I was never considered a silly goose.
Yeah, you really want to cultivate these defenses you can hide behind.
Yeah.
Like, I was being a little silly goose, or it's okay that I'm doodling over here because I do okay on my grades. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Doodling was a big part of it for me, but I would also like I kept getting in trouble for bringing stuff in. think maybe I mentioned it. Did I tell my story about it's not even a good story, but getting my Star Wars Insider magazine taken away from me in the 3rd grade?
I don't think
It
so.
was in preparation for The Phantom Menace coming out. So before it came out, there's nothing more exciting than
Yeah.
seeing all those
Yeah.
pictures and imagining, oh, what's going on? So I brought my magazine in, show my friend, and he was fucking loud about it because we were just sitting next to each other and both of us not paying attention, just looking at the magazine, and he wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like, you're being a
Mm-hmm.
snitch, accidental snitch.
Yeah.
And the teacher took the magazine and she said, come get it from me at the end of class. And I did. And she was like, I'm going to keep this for, I think she said like 3 weeks.
Damn.
Like, I think she wanted to read up about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah. Who's this Jar Jar?
3 weeks later, I go to get it. She says she lost it.
What?
I never got my Star Wars Insider magazine back.
That. What's the statute of limitations? Can we prosecute?
Hey, I gotta look into Mrs. Cox. Not related, but my 3rd grade teacher was Mrs. Cox, and she never gave me back my magazine. Now I feel like I'm gonna look it up, and it's worth billions of dollars. That's why she kept it.
Yeah,
jerk.
Probably. Yeah, it's messed up. Similar to my sociology thing in math class once, I was like straight up just not paying attention. But we were talking about something, I don't know what. The teacher was like trying to get people to participate, and it's math class. Nobody wants to participate. No. And she said something like, "Come on, you guys know what this word is? Starts with an I." And I blurted out isotope. I don't know why. And then every other kid in the class is like, what are isotopes? They're like, Miss Butts. That was her name, Miss Butts.
Our teachers were Miss Cox and Miss Butts.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that great?
How do we turn out this
way? But they're like, Miss Butts, what's an isotope? And she was just like, he was joking. And just like wouldn't answer the question. Would not acknowledge that I had said that.
That's hilarious.
And just moved on.
Because it's for the same reason I would do the exact same thing if I were teaching a class now. I don't remember. I didn't go to school recently. Exactly. I learned what they are. I don't know, though. I don't know what an isotope is.
The Springfield baseball team.
Oh, yes.
In The Simpsons.
Springfield Isotopes. Classic.
Yeah.
I had this happen as recent as yesterday. Which...
Interesting.
Why am I still in the 3rd grade? That's, neither here nor there. No, it was a work thing. I was shooting something for work, and I finished shooting it. And when it comes to work, whether it's in-person stuff, Zoom meetings, whatever, as soon as my thing's done and everyone else wants to talk about shit that has nothing to do with me, I'm not listening at all. Completely check out. I'm gone. I have no more attention to give. And I don't think it's happened in a Zoom meeting. It probably has. Nothing that I remember. But because it was yesterday, I remember never talking about like, oh, we're going to do this one new thing. We're going to try a new thing with this and this and that. But it was nothing that had anything to do with me. And then like 10 minutes into me just like sitting there, I don't know what I was thinking about, staring off into the distance. One of them just goes, I mean, Evan, you're the expert on this subject. What do you think? And I gathered enough in my head to feel like I just said, like, they're doing a new thing. If I'm the expert on it, it's probably got to be. If this person is asking, saying I'm the expert, it's got to be this. And I gave as vague a response as I could, because at a certain point, while I'm still apparently too proud to just be like, I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
I'm not too proud to just be like, yeah, I don't know. You know, it's easier to write off as an adult. Like, yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure which way I'd go. I wish I could have done that in the third grade. What's 2
Yeah.
plus 2? Yeah. I don't know which way.
I don't really know which
I
way
don't know
I'd
which
go
way
on
I'm
this
leaning.
one. You know, I think both are valid points.
Yeah, they both have their strong points. They both have their, fallbacks. What's the word I'm looking for?
Isotopes.
They both have their isotopes, and we can't overlook that.
No. I'm glad that you mentioned work because there are a couple people at work who are very high energy.
Oh no.
And I don't have any time for that. But especially at the end of the shift, like, you know, we've worked either an 8-hour shift or we've worked a double 16 hours. Hey, when I've finished my work, I'm powering down. It's just I'm leaving only the essential apps are open. I gotta make sure that I'm still good to drive.
A few more running.
Maybe talk a little bit, but like
Words
we're
with
running
friends
on
is still running in the background, but
exactly. And so like people, you know, sometimes these high energy people will start talking to me. It's like I'm not paying attention to you.
No.
I flat out said to somebody a week or two ago, like I told them exactly that. I was like, I'm on battery saver mode right now. I'm not. I wasn't listening.
I'm on Chris time.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I get it. I've been there. There's only so much of a workplace you can take in a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just time to get out.
Going back to unwanted attention. I 3 years later, I made my triumphant return to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
Hey.
And of course, there are a variety of scare actors who are looking for signs of weakness. And then they will give you unwanted attention.
Oh yeah.
And hey, some of them were pretty good. But my girlfriend is definitely, she's quick to show them that she's terrified. So
she's a easy target.
Exactly. And there was one where like, instead of like, for the most part, they'll mingle within the crowd a little bit and jump out at you a little bit. But as she's cowering into me, there's one that's dressed in this like, demon bunny outfit, and it's got a little like trick or treat pail in one hand and like a bell or something in the other, and it's just like following us, just like right up against us, trying to get the money or get the candy or whatever in the pail.
Get your money.
Get the money. Yeah, I don't know. That's what the rest of the theme park was doing. I think this person was just looking for candy. And then at the end of the night, they've sometimes in the main like stretch of Universal Studios, so they'll have like people on stilts going to scare you, which is awesome. I think those are so cool.
It's fun.
But they didn't have them for most of the night, and so we were like, man, where are the people on stilts? And then as we were leaving, there was one going through the crowd that's leaving, and again comes from my girlfriend, and she like takes off running. And most of the time these people on stilts, they also just like keep moving through the crowd, but nah, this one turns around and just follows behind her. She's up ahead with her sister and thinks that they're safe. And then the stilts man just slams those stilts down behind her.
Oh, no.
Bam, bam, like get her to turn around. She turns around. She takes off running. The stilts guy just keeps following her through the crowd. And me as an observer thought that attention was pretty funny. But if I was in her shoes, probably not, because it'd be extremely unwanted.
Absolutely.
And terrifying.
Ugh. It's funny how I love horror movies and I like the being scared, all that jazz, but not in in-person scenarios. I don't like being scared in person, if that makes sense, by other people. I don't know. I've never done Hollywood Horror Nights, whatever it's called, because I've heard it's really fucking scary. I'm sure it's fun, but yeah, I don't. I've done haunted houses in the past, and I don't like. Because I'll end up at Target because I'm different, because I'm different. No, I mean,
yeah, I guess I'm just built different. I get scared at scary events.
Wrap up talk. I'm a bit different. No, like in terms of who these people target, these monsters. Whereas your girlfriend gives the big reaction of like, I'm terrified and I'm going to run away. I'm very I will scream, but I'm laughing also as like a nervous reaction. So I think I just make a lot of noise. So I will also, people will be attracted to scaring the shit out of me in haunted house situations, and I do not care for that attention.
Yeah, there was in one of the mazes that we went through, we waited like an hour and 15 minutes to get into this one maze. Ugh. And then the entire time we're in there, the people directly behind me, there's two of them, screaming at the top of their lungs the whole maze. Oh. Nothing's even happening. We're in one of the little dark transition rooms into a new room and just screaming as loud as they can in my ears. But that did make it so that almost all the scare actors were going for them or for my girlfriend and her sister who were in front of me. So me, the lone ranger, getting no attention.
That's an interesting...
Much like the feature film.
True. And now those two leading actors? Oh, how much more attention could you ask for? You wouldn't think that then a movie starring Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp would have failed that bad. But is that a strategy going into haunted houses? Pair up with people who are just gonna be loud and have them be right behind you or right in front of you. Make a little sandwich of people who are having the shit scared out of them and just calmly glide.
Yeah.
Through. But then that also makes me go well, then what the fuck am I paying for?
Yeah. It's I will tell you that I would have loved to have not been in front of those people because it was really fucking annoying.
Earplugs.
I guess, yeah. But it's not even like they were loud talkers behind us in line. It was just the second we went into the maze, it was all screams.
Well, it's a scary place.
All screams.
It's a scary, scary place. And you got to get ready for some sketty. That's scream. Ready for screams. You scream ice cream. We all scream for ice cream. Get ready for scream, sketty, spaghetti, mom spaghetti. Lose yourself.
You done? Okay.
I'm glad we went there. It's fun. We're gearing up for Halloween, which no, that's not going to be the next episode.
There are any Richard Gere Halloween episodes.
Granted, right at this second, we don't exactly know what we're doing for our Halloween episode. So
no, we do not.
I won't say it. Impossible. We're gearing up for Halloween. We watched the Mothman prophecies.
Oh, that's true.
It's true. So glad we got that in there. We're getting spooky. This feels, I'm just going to breeze past this because it feels very similar to what we've been talking about before, but attention while watching something like a movie or a television show, the degree to which a show can lose my attention is so much more extreme now that my brain is broken. To where it's like,
sure,
if I'm watching a show, one we both agree on that we both love, Barry. Barry's a show that will keep my attention from the beginning to the end of it. And it's short, it's little half-hour episodes, right? I'm not wrong, I don't think.
Yeah. They're half-hour.
But if you're trying out a new show and it's like an hour and it's a little slow, I got, like, when I was younger, if that happened, you just deal with it. You just keep watching it. Or you shut it off if you're just not feeling it at all. But, like, I feel a need to keep it going. And I'm just like, I'm looking at my phone. And I just get through it and realize, like, I didn't pay attention to any of that. Why'd I watch it? Why'd I do that?
Yeah.
It's bad.
I think that there's also something to be said that, like, I don't know how many shows are trying to, like, how many shows or movies are well made enough to keep our attention, because I think that there's definitely something to be said for, like, I've been going back and I've been watching the X-Files.
Yeah.
Hour-long episodes. They're 30 years old. Yeah. And normally I am doing something else when I'm watching TV shows or something, but the X-Files pulls me in every time, and I stop doing that other stuff.
Isn't that
but
always
like
a special feeling?
It is. That show, I don't know if you've still been watching it, but that show Reboot.
Yeah.
On Hulu. I started watching that, but even those episodes are short, and I found myself on my phone
drifting
or
a little,
doing something else as they're on. And it's, I don't know. I think it's a mix of our shorter attention spans and that there aren't a lot of fresh things being made. Not that they're bad, but there are a lot of things that we've seen before, that are still just getting made again. And so when it's something that's new and interesting, I think it still is able to break that short attention span.
Yeah, I think
even like Stranger Things season 2 and season 3 were both seasons where, like, they didn't really have my attention. But season 4, this last one, was like, I was in it. I was fully captivated the whole time.
Yeah, and especially like those, considering each episode was an hour and a half to 2 hours long. I'm right there with you. There's something to that, and the fact that it's been so long now. We're just, not to be that guy, but the remakes and the reboots and the prequels and the sequels and the whatever. There's a bit of, like, redundancy to it all, where even if they're good, it's like, I don't need to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
And it's very refreshing and fun when there is something that you're like, no, I need to pay attention to every fucking second of this. And yeah, the last season of Stranger Things is a great example. It's like, nope, you got me. I didn't expect them to get me.
Yeah.
They took me and they kept me.
Yeah.
For like 20 hours. It's good shit. That's our little plea. Make better shit. And we'll pay attention to you.
Here we are now. Entertain us.
Here we are now. Entertain us. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was standing at attention, which I did in marching band, and which I always found kind of nice because I was given a thing to do. It was like, stand at attention, and I could just stand still, and I was accomplishing something. Check.
Were you the best
mark.
at it?
I think so. And that's
more like check march.
I want to say that that's me just like joking, but I think that's serious. I think I genuinely am like, yeah, no, I think I was the best at it. I think I was very good at marching. I still got a very good march walk. I could sneak up on people like an assassin, going whoop, heel toe.
That's a good idea for Halloween Horror Nights next year. They can just have a zombie marching band come through.
That makes me think I would be good at that. I could sneak up behind people. Don't lock your knees, ladies and gentlemen. You'll pass the fuck out. Is it time to wrap this shit up?
I think so, yeah.
That was just a message for all the marching band kiddos, a large demographic of our listeners.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, don't lock your knees.
Don't lock your knees. Don't lock the gates. Mark Maron's in there. You might want out at some point. You're
That's
listening.
a reference I don't understand.
That's what he says on his very famous podcast.
I don't listen to other people's podcasts.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to our podcast. I hope we kept your attention.
Yeah.
I'm sure we didn't keep some people's attention, and this episode was very ironic for them. But we appreciate you listening.
We started off so strong, though, with our Irish hit record Joe.
It's pretty good. It's quality. They don't need to know
that's good stuff.
Why we were just doing that. Just happened naturally.
Our little secret.
Our secrets. Oh, the babies. Leave us a review, leave us a rating wherever you get your podcasts. They'll let you do little things. You can follow us, you can subscribe to us. We love a rating, we love a review, and we love you. So do that on Spotify, do that on Apple Music, do it on the old Amazon Music, wherever you're listening to it right now. That's a place you can do it. Go find us on social media. You could tell us why you think we were doing Irish accents at the top. You could put it together. We left you all the clues.
Yes, Mr. Police.
Mr. Police. Snowman here. Follow our social medias, Mr. Police. You can follow us on Instagram at How Do We Human.
We got that handle.
You can follow us on Twitter at How Do We Human Pod.
Ooh, we tweet those tweets.
How about Facebook? You ever heard of it? You can find us there at How Do We Human.
Oh, we got that handle.
Ooh,
that was a voice exclusively for Evan.
in joke from before we started recording. You can
Holy moly!
You can leave us an episode or an email. I don't know what I'm doing. Leave us an email. Please
leave us an episode.
Please leave us. That'd be fucking great. We would love to take a week off. Just leave us an episode. But you can leave us an email, talk to us, leave us episode ideas, whatever you want to do. That is howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an email.
Boop. Chris.
Yes.
What you got going on?
Well, much like that song by Estelle in 2008, I like to think of myself as an American boy. But doing this podcast has really shown me that I have more European appeal. We of course were a very highly rated comedy podcast in Denmark at some point, and maybe still are.
Maybe.
And now I've teamed up with a German company in order to develop something, a product that's near and dear to my heart. If Evan and we've discussed that we are more follically challenged.
Yeah.
But now that I live with my girlfriend, it's like I'm living with a big old dog because there's hair all over this place.
Yeah. Big old dog.
Just strands of hair everywhere. And I don't know how to best clean it, or at least I didn't. Because now me and this German company have developed a product that you set in the center of a room, turn it on, and all of the loose hair in the room will then be drawn to it and collect upon this device. So please, if that's something that interests you, check out Hair Magnet.
Hair Magnet.
Again, because this is a German company, that's spelled HERR. Magnet translates to Mr. Magnet, but it does pick up hair.
That's quite the double meaning there. I think.
Yes, thank you. Hair Magnet.
That's exciting. I'm all about that. I'd love to collect all this hair. I got a girlfriend and a dog.
Yeah. Double the hair.
Double the hair. Double the fun.
Double the flair. Evan, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, a couple things. Mostly, I wanted to actually also talk about being follically challenged. I'm a bald man. I shave my head bald. And sometimes that could be a lot, and you just get tired of it, of having to shave your head all the time. So I'm thinking of a hat that has razor blades in it.
This is an interesting idea.
Just put on your head, and then it shaves your head for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Great. I also wanted to plug something close to my heart. My lungs. Okay. All right, that's all I got.
Holy moly!
Oh my god! Wow!
Oh my god! These plugs.
Email us. Let us know what you think we're doing. What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Piece together the exact conversation that we had before we started recording. And I don't know. I'll probably give you money. That would have impressed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Not much, but a little bit of money.
It doesn't feel like it would be that impressive, but at the same time, it absolutely would be.
It'd be pretty cool. Well, what's left but to say, okay then, bye.
Okay,